Greetings and salutations, Y.A.R.P fans. We are today talking about a movie that we had hoped would be a solid epilogue to our Kevin Smith arc, the fairly recently released Clerks 3. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who haven't seen this movie yet. And unfortunately, it is our sad privilege to report to you we do not recommend it. Um, this was fucking terrible in
Yeah,
a lot of ways.
for the most part, it was pretty fucking low quality. Like, it's
It was
like,
depressing as shit.
we'll get
I
to
mean,
that.
even the way that intro was delivered was in the form of a fucking eulogy. So I mean, that's a good opening statement as to where we're at mentally.
Yeah, and it really pisses me off that the few good moments in here like still hit as somebody who grew up on this franchise.
Yeah, like that's
But like fuck man, this basically felt like a I don't even remember how long it was. It felt forever long, but it felt like a fucking 90-minute, like very meta sort of highlight reel. Like, hey, remember this? And you remember when this person said this line?
remember,
Do you remember?
Do you
You remember?
remember, you
But
you
there was
remember.
there was hardly even a fucking story.
Yeah,
Like
It
you
was-
could barely even call it a framing device for a story.
yeah,
So for-
Randall
yeah,
has a heart attack, and he decides that he's done nothing with his life, and thus is going to make a movie about like all the time he's had in the convenience store. He's making the first movie.
yeah. Basically, yeah, he has like a what's the word? A midlife crisis after a near-death experience, and he decides to
Mhm.
make a movie. And the movie he decides to make is literally Clerks 1 and 2.
Yeah, technically, there's scenes from Clerks 2 in there.
Like straight up, there are like moments from Clerks 2 that are like there because I mean, I guess if you were telling the story of Randall, it would be Clerks 1 and 2, and that's what the idea of the movie is. There's a lot of so I have this as a note. Um, Randall's sense of humor, it was kind of fun before the internet was a thing. Like it felt unique because of where it was in the time period. But like now it's just like he just feels like literally every single fucking like troll board 4chan fucking guy ever. Just
Yeah.
not even 4chan, just
Kind of a
fucking
guy that you talk
just a
to for
guy,
like 20 minutes about a movie.
just well no, like he would just troll you because like your favorite movie isn't his favorite movie. And he'll just happily sit there and like roast it. So like I said, I don't know if it's like a weird meta thing. It just felt weird because it's like I don't know if that sense of humor like works anymore. If that makes sense. What do you guys think?
I think it's even like modern day bullies aren't that sort of like sarcastic and just talking down to literally every person they meet.
Yeah,
It
but it feels
it,
like
it doesn't make him seem like a person, it makes him seem like a fucking a trope.
Yeah, like I said, it just makes it feel like the fucking personification of something on the
Yeah,
internet.
it was a smart aleck persona dialed to a fucking 12.
So, like I said,
So
it's
like one of
go
the
ahead.
things of like so they're basically making Clerks 1 and 2, and Dante is pretty much having to go through this with him because the doctor said he's going to be experiencing depression and to basically go along with his stuff.
Yeah.
Uh
No, the doctor said keep his spirits up.
Keep his spirits up, yeah. This is like I said,
Mhm.
it's usually what happens to someone after they experience a traumatic event. It kind of fucks with them a little bit. So the idea is just kind of, be there for him in a good way. And that's kind of what, Dante like is. Like he's always there for Randall. He's the fucking like they bludgeon you over the fucking head with. He's the good thief next to Jesus on the cross.
that was so
Yeah.
fucking
Did you know?
heavy-handed.
By the way, did you know that there was two people who died with Jesus when he was on the cross? I don't know.
I think I
What-
might have heard that
Yeah.
somewhere.
What's a butt
good.
thief?
One was a good. They were butt thieves, and one was a good thief and one was a bad thief. Butt
They were
thief,
both
they were
bad
bo-
thieves.
But if they
They're
were
both
both
butt thieves.
caught, then that makes them bad thieves, which actually was kind of a funny
Legitimate
joke.
one of like the actual
Yeah.
witty lines that evokes that sense, that like quick, snappy kind of sense of humor that the first Clerks became popular for.
Yeah, and So yeah, we get we got to talk about the first shot in the movie, like when he's actually doing the Clerks thing. Yeah, we get the shot of Rosario Dawson's character from Clerks 2 that is dead.
It's just fucking dead, and it
Like
felt
and
weird.
it felt weird, but I feel like it was kind of mitigated later because of like where Dante's story goes. Because at the beginning, it's very jarring, and it's like, oh, like meta wise, it's like, oh, she didn't agree to the movie. But as we saw from the scenes, nah, she's in it quite a fair bit, and like I said, it serves for like good character development for Dante.
I know it's
Um,
kind of skipping around a little bit, but fuck it, this movie
yeah, we're
told
gonna
in chronological order. When he goes to the cemetery and is like, has his vision with her and is seeing her ghost and all that shit, there's a pretty unforgivable error in that scene. The whole crux of Dante's trauma and basically what creates the issues for the third act of the film is that he lost his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
Did you
Mhm.
notice anything odd about the headstone?
There wasn't a child
Yeah, it was
included on
only
it.
her.
It was only her, and there wasn't another headstone next to it.
Yeah.
There was no memorial for his daughter at all, which is a very, very common thing. Even if the child dies before it's born,
Yeah, they had
it
a
would be
name.
really fucking weird not to have some sort of line on there or literally a headstone next to hers.
Yeah, yeah, they would. They would, especially if they even went to the point of giving it a name like that.
Yeah,
that would
they
that would
did.
be on the headstone.
Oh yeah, so they did give a name, so yeah, there would be a headstone for that name.
Like they were very much ready. They were at that
Yeah,
stage. They were very ready to meet that
Was
kid.
it Grace?
Grace.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it was Grace. Yeah, and it is. Well, I mean, yeah, he does bring it up later, but it is weird how like I don't know. I feel like it's there is the fuck. I'm kind of like lost because they. I'm trying to like praise the movie
Don't.
because
There's very few scenes. Only
there's
the
very few
Veronica stuff was okay. Like there was a
Veronica stuff
good
was
moment
okay.
there.
all
There was
pretty much every Rosario Dawson scene.
Which even kind of led to a bit of a funny like payoff with the Veronica thing.
Yeah, which was kind of like just genuine joke. But the yeah, like I said, every scene with Rosario Dawson was pretty good, especially the last one. But it's like Dante's acting. What's this guy's name? I feel bad. Ninja, you'd know it.
I don't offhand know.
I don't think anyone has ever known these people by their actual name. It's always just been
Dante and Randall.
Dante and Randall.
But what's his name? Brian O'Halloran. Has he been in any other movie besides the Askew movies?
He's been in
Maybe, but it's like a bit part. I don't think he's been anything big.
the guy who plays Randall basically starred in a point and click adventure game where he basically was Randall. Like he said he wasn't Randall, but he acts just like Randall, and it's like that's fucking weird.
Gotcha. But yeah, no. So the meta thing I wanted to talk about because like obviously the theme of this movie is death, kind of. This is a movie that Kevin Smith didn't make after his father died, and if you guys don't know, his dad died in a very similar way to basically Dante. It was a heart attack, and he died in pain. And honestly, I feel like it really, really, really fucked with Kevin, and I feel like you can actually trace like his slope in quality from that event.
It's possible.
Do you feel like because Ninja, you're also a big Kevin Smith fan? Do you feel like that's like it kind of like levels out with itself?
More than likely, his dad did have a lot to do with his, formative years and the start of his career and everything. So I could definitely see where that would cause him a lot of issue. But I think my biggest issue, like, look, he's definitely earned a certain amount of like enjoy the fruits of your labor, so to speak. I mean, I think sucking your own dick or huffing your own farts to this degree is a bit much.
Mhm.
But there's nothing wrong with celebrating, what is essentially 2.5 decades of a career. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, but my issue is that this man used to tell stories,
Hmm.
and he's not fucking doing that anymore.
Yeah.
This was not a story.
Oh,
Yeah,
And,
and it
and
almost
even the only fucking character development we got was literally like a reset. We've literally been through this in Clerks 1. We've been through this in Clerks 2.
Mhm.
Like these characters have already had these types of breakdowns and discussions and arguments. They're literally rehashing the same fucking shit
Yeah.
over and over again.
And to Dante's credit in his acting, like that part towards the end before he has the heart attack, it literally almost looks like an exact recreation of like their argument. It's a combination of all their arguments in Clerks too, but like it's like they almost the exact same movie or the exact same moves that he's doing is exactly the same when they're having the discussion about the slurs.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I love these movies, so I've watched them fucking billion times, and like seeing that in there like kind of made me like tilt my head a little bit because it's like it just feels like the exact same arc that we're doing for now the third time. Even though clearly in the second movie, Randall like came to a realization that he is a massive piece of shit. But in this movie, he's just a massive piece of shit. Like it's almost as if like it undoes like everything that he's like been through as a character.
Well, yeah, and the implication is that it's been what, 15 years?
Hmm.
10 or 15 years since the last movie, so it's like there's basically been a complete reversion of all of the characters back to the start of Clerks 2.
which is a bit annoying considering how much everybody is supposedly grown even in the meantime. Jay and Silent Bob reboot like literally ends and we get the explanation of like, oh yeah, like we're the ones that put the gum in the locks.
Hmm.
Like as far like that's the thing. It ended already.
Yeah.
Reboot
There's
was
multiple
unironically a
times, yeah.
better ending to this universe than what we got here.
Yeah.
This felt cheap, it felt hollow.
Mhm.
It had moments
Yeah.
of depth and quality, but they were brief and they were far between.
Yeah. Like I said, there are moments, but like, man, like you can't really see them through this amount of thing. There are the little tiny sprinkles, but like this is a shit sandwich, which sucks because like it hurts on like that personal level because like we love these movies.
Yeah,
Um.
like because remember I had not seen a single Kevin Smith movie when we started that arc,
Yeah.
and
And
I
oh,
grew to
movies are fucking great.
appreciate. Yeah, I grew to appreciate a what I thought at the time was a fantastic director,
Hmm.
and
But like I said, it feels like I said, it's mean to say or whatever, but it just feels like after his dad died, like it really just fucked with like his whole artistic view or
Well, he
whatever.
also had his own life scare too.
Yeah,
yeah,
that as well.
that's what caused him to lose the weight.
Yeah, that as well.
But I think between those two things, he really just kind of it fucked with him.
Yeah. Well, like the Black Parade. So like, we got to talk about the music in the movie because like that's a
I
really
hated
weird.
this entire movie's soundtrack.
No, the first song is insanely great. It's is it Welcome to the Black Parade? Let me double check.
It's a good song. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
welcome to the
say
Black
it
Parade.
fits.
No, it does because it's a song about a son basically living the legacy of his father as his father passes away, which, like I said, it's pretty relevant to the story that we're seeing now.
Well, but it is and it isn't. Like it's relevant on a meta sense. It's not relevant
Yeah,
on a story sense.
yeah, it's because there's
Yeah,
nobody that basically live on the legacy except for Randall, I guess.
yeah. This felt like just play licensed music just to play licensed music.
No, like I said, that part was that part did feel like it was deliberately setting up like the theme of death in the movie. Problem is the rest of the music was very unfitting. Like my own worst enemy plays when Randall is going to the fucking hospital, but that song is literally about just a guy who had a hangover. Like, you know what I mean? The song is about like, oh, I woke up, silly spot. Why did I do this to myself? Lol. Like that's what the song's about. So it's really unfitting that it plays when a character is about to fucking die. You know what I mean? Like that's why I was just like, ew, with the music choice. Like, it made a point of like saying that because it was like, and then the rest of the music was weird, but the Clerks movies, I'm not saying that they're as bad as this, but they do have like that weirdness to them, but they do serve the purpose of the movie. Like in Clerks 2, the whole fucking ABC 1 2 3 thing, where they basically have a giant dance off in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that does serve the purpose of, showing that Dante is trying to, like, learn how to dance, and it spurs his and Rosario Dawson's
Relationship.
relationship. And it's also at the very end of it, like, she kind of confesses that she's preggers.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, like I said, the other movies do have like weird spurts of music, but I don't think they're to this degree this bad.
The first one didn't, because they basically had no budget for that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they even reference the budget.
Yeah, they fucking. Oh my god. So yeah, me and Slur were like literally like fucking like grabbing our hands on our heads, just like what the fuck is going on, like meta wise. Slur, are you
Well,
And
here?
every time a new level of meta folding in on itself happened, I just died an extra little bit inside because I don't like that shit. It feels very wanky. It feels very cheap as a way to like make something appealing.
And for
And
reference, it's every fucking other line that
yeah,
is a
if
yeah, it's
meta thing.
built into the premise of the movie from
Mhm.
down to the bones of what this is as a script. It is taking a movie as making that own movie exist within its own universe. It is the Ouroboros of Kevin Smith disappearing up his own asshole.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and like you said, every single line is like referencing, like, even to the budget of the first Clerks movie, the fact that Kevin Smith, Silent Bob is a genius director, and
Mm-hmm.
has to basically, it has to be in black and white.
You know the sad fucking part about that whole scene with him making that statement?
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a fucking film nerd. I have multiple of Kevin Smith's books, his fucking biographies and shit. The reason that he shot in black and white was because A, he couldn't afford not to, and B, because they were shooting at the convenience store where he literally worked during the day, he had to only shoot at night.
yeah,
Which was, which
like
you said was the
I
reason for
remember.
the shutters.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the black and white thing, and that's why I was just like, what? No.
So it had nothing to do with an artistic it was him making the best of a bad situation, because it was he wanted to make a movie, but he wanted to make it on his own, and he had a shoestring budget, even for the time when the movie was made. So he was committed to the craft, to the story, and it's like, man, this had none of that level of soul or art to it.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, there's just points where it just feels like he's just wanking himself off.
It almost feels like it's parading around the corpse of the first movie.
Yeah, literally.
At times, it's really like borderline disrespectful, which is weird because I'm assuming he's the one who made this. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is your own stuff,
Uh,
but you're not treating it with any reverence.
oh yeah, like the lack of diversity line. We talked about that for a split second while we were watching
And
it.
then
It's just like,
oh yeah, so yeah, the lack of diversity. It's like, wait, is that the meta line that they're making a joke about, like, diversity and thing, or is that actually Kevin Smith going, we actually need diversity in this movie?
Yeah, and
And
this is the thing. We actually don't know. One, because there's so many of the comedic moments in the movie that just don't fucking land because we're all dying of cringe. And
that-
two, because if it's going to live so hard in the meta, we can't actually listen to any of the jokes without bearing the real life Kevin Smith in mind because that's the kind of movie it is.
Mhm.
So we have to remember that, like, oh no, that's actually a thing he actually thinks in the real world.
Yeah, we're gonna if you've seen our thumbnail, like there's a very funny meme where it's just like, well, shit. Did one of you guys pull it up and actually quote it directly? I don't want to misquote it.
well, also while he's doing that, let's also just not forget that all of our icons are crying Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Crown Kiss.
Eh. Yeah, I mean, if a fucking generic as fuck, absolute plastic tasting product it gets released from Marvel and he doesn't cry about it on Twitter. Did it even come out?
Mm-hmm. And it's like sad because like he used to be like kind of like what I think Ninja you said this. He kind of used to be the bad boy of like movie making, but now he's just literally a consumer.
Yeah. He
Wasn't
used to
it?
be the outsider. He used to be like literally the filmmaker of the every. He wasn't some Hollywood elite. He was some no-name fucking kid from Jersey. He was just a regular guy who wanted to make movies for a living. Now it's like, nope, not anymore. He's literally been there too long. He drank the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to call it, and now
Isn't
this
he?
is just how it is.
And yeah,
Didn't he
he's like
used to be? Didn't he used to be like the big inspiration of like who of filmmakers, like how Edgar Wright was mine, or is still mine.
yeah, Ninja's followed him for a while, and I'm not as big of a fan, but I loved all of his movies. Like that's the thing is like he had those like his like the conversations were like on like Tarantino esque. It's kind of funny that they made that joke in there, but like I would say that like the conversations they have where it's like a nerdy Tarantino where you actually kind of care about what people are talking about, even though what they're talking about is just absolute nonsense. And we do get one moment of that when they're talking about like who Dante is in the script. Like there's like a little
Uh,
sliver of that old Kevin Smith like buried deeply in there when they're talking about how Dante is like what character from Star
yeah,
Wars.
only Kevin Smith would have like a conversation about Dak. Which I
Yeah,
do. Any of you even remember who Dak even fucking
yeah.
was?
Well,
No, I was exactly in Randall's position where usually I know the Star Wars stupid bullshit, but who the fuck is Dak?
mhm,
No,
Yeah,
I got laid, so
no,
yeah.
yeah, Dak was the tail gunner. Right now I feel like I could take on the whole empire myself. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that like that is like the stupid nerdy bullshit that like
Yeah,
because
that Kevin
remember
Smith
one
would
of the
have the whole
everybody's
the
the
conversation
one
about the
thing,
Death Star,
yeah I was about to say everybody remembers from the first fucking movie is like them talking about like
the
the logistics
contractors.
the logistics of building a second Death Star and how it fucked with Randall. You know what I mean? That is like Kevin Smith like style conversations, and like I said, we get that little bit in this movie, and that's it.
I remember there was that contract. It's like I was an independent contractor.
Yeah, like I said, we're talking about a better movie, unfortunately, which this movie tried to emulate. And
uh,
Slur did point out, so we kind of had this conversation beforehand. Slur pointed out there's a lot of comparisons to be made with the Star Wars. Fuck, wow,
the
Jesus.
Matrix.
The Matrix for oh, fuck. I see.
You okay?
I don't want to talk about the Matrix so much. I'd
What?
rather talk about Star Wars. But no, the new Matrix movie that was like a soulless remake because that's what it was. Um, it does have like that similar style, but like I said, I feel like this has a little bit more heart because of the fact that it actually did recreate the scenes with the older people.
And then it
until it
also
didn't.
reuses the
Yeah.
footage, and yeah. But my comparison wasn't really about like, okay, it was the level of meta wank happening in front of our eyes.
Mhm.
It was how much the movie was about how the thing the movie about is actually great. Like, if you didn't go into this movie having watched Clerks, I mean, it's the third in the series, so that's weird to do at the outset, so that's fine, whatever. But you have no frame of reference because this movie is about how fucking great and heartfelt and important Clerks 1 is.
Mhm.
It's not a story on its own. It has no
No.
legs on its own. It has no heart on its own.
Yeah, because like I feel like you could watch Clerks 2 without seeing the other movie.
Yes, you could.
Like it is like you get that reference of being black and white and thing, but like it's very clear like who the characters are and everything in that movie. Like it does a really good job of doing that, but you don't get any of that in this movie. It just all feels soulless.
Like, at any point, even at the end of this movie, do you feel like it was the conclusion to a trilogy?
Well, yeah, because fucking Randall or Dante dies.
No, but I mean, does that feel like does it feel like we started a story in Clerks 1 and actually closed off, tied off the loose ends, and ended a story in Clerks 2? or
Yeah,
Clerks 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
I
yeah,
have the same
sorry,
fucking
yeah,
mouth disease
yeah,
Max does, where I
yeah.
just don't want to mention the fucking movie.
Well, yeah, but it's the thing. It's funny that you say that, but yeah, from Clerks 1 to Clerks 2, it feels like it's a closed off story.
Yeah, that feels like an absolute fucking complete
And
full
this
circle
story,
where we
that's
start off in one place, we struggle, we overcome, we change as people, and then we kind of end right back at the quick stop. But we see this old world through new lenses, like the classic fucking hero's journey shit right there. It was
Right.
a complete story, and then this happens and just exhumes a corpse, puppets it around, makes it do a bunch of scenes. It's like 30 years too old to pull off anymore, and then sets it right back into the dirt.
Mhm.
literally.
Yeah, literally. Like, literally, this movie ends with a fucking funeral.
And of course it's covered in even his own fucking references. The kites are literally Buddy Christ.
Yeah, Buddy Christ. Yeah,
Oh,
like,
the amount of references and shit. Like, now, we would expect a certain level of that, but bruh, it is fucking everything.
everywhere. Like, it's like, do you remember Kevin Smith movie? Do you remember it?
There is an honest to God fucking montage of all of Kevin Smith's friends shouting meta jokes at you, fucking shotgun style.
The only one that made me
pain.
laugh during that, because it's the casting scene, the only one that kind of made me chuckle was the Freddie Prinze Jr., and that's just because he was just himself.
Well, I'm
Or
pretty
just-
sure. I don't know.
No,
I don't
no,
know
he
if
actually said that it's like, I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. It's
Yeah,
meaning that Freddie Prinze Jr. in that universe has just nothing to do, so he goes to this small town in Jersey to go to an audition.
kind of like Freddie
That's-
Prinze Jr.
I was gonna say, which is kind of what he fucking deserves, but that's neither here nor there.
I was gonna say he's most known as a voice actor in Mass Effect 3. Shut the fuck up.
And Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, was he in Rebels?
He's
No
the
one
main.
cares
He's
about
the
Star
main.
Wars Rebels.
He's the main character.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's Kanan Jarrus.
Neat.
I don't even remember his name in Mass Effect. He's the muscle guy in 3.
Oh, James.
I don't know. I can't confirm. I don't remember. I remember he's thick.
I
and
could
he
just
was-
I could just say
that's
random
it.
names and you just have to nod because you don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, him. Yeah,
He was Dak, clearly.
He was Anderson. Yeah. Yeah. there was that other bit with the the used to be fat guy with the sailboat in Mallrats, and like
Yeah,
fact
that
Jack
didn't.
guy. You know? Like,
That joke would have been funnier if Randall and Dante had met him, but that's a Mallrats reference.
it's literally just I was gonna say like somebody had to point it
It's
out.
just another meta joke.
It's just another meta joke. It wouldn't make sense for these characters. Like that's the thing. Is like none of this movie makes sense for these characters. So, I don't know. It's just, like I said, there are points that it got me. I will admit, like Dante's death did make me tear up.
Yeah.
All of his acting performances were really good, or when he's like dramatically acting with Rosario Dawson, those are really good too.
Well, it's because at the end of the day, Rosario Dawson's a good, and the guy who plays Dante, they're good actors.
But yeah, he's probably one of the only people in this movie who's actually a main character, and B, actually an actor. Everyone else, like the dude who plays like the weird Christian guy turned Satanist guy,
Yeah,
that dude's not an actor.
yeah, he's not.
He's clearly just
as
Kevin
we
Smith's
pain-
pal.
Yeah, as we painfully had to fucking experience in the movie, is like he plays this weird autistic, like not even autistic. I think like the homeboy is actually mentally like handicapped, like just straight up.
Yeah,
like,
because the whole joke from the second movie was that he liked Lord of the Rings and was a Christian.
yeah, he was a hardcore Christian. Remember, Pillow Pants.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a joke for
I
a
was
better
going-
movie.
I was gonna say they literally
Clerks
kept.
2 is just much funnier, and that kind of character when he's like late teens, early 20s, and is just hyper autistic and awkward, and he just doesn't know how to like talk to people. That you can make jokes about that. When he's
Yeah.
30 fucking 6, has a 5 o'clock shadow, and is like he's just acting like that, and is also doing it in a way that's not acted well, so he doesn't know how to deliver jokes.
Yeah,
It's just uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Also, talk about like the reusing. It's like there's only one return, and it's of the Jedi.
Yeah, once again another recycled joke. But yeah, he's not only still living with his mom and whatever, he's in the crypto business, which was
He's also adopted a weird teenager to be his own Silent Bob.
yeah,
That
sounds
was
like a lot, but
weird.
not we. They're selling crypto, which is a weird meta conversation.
But it was something that was much more of a conversation in 2018.
No, no, no,
About
no, no.
2020.
What I'm saying is that so they
Didn't this movie come
they were,
out
they
in
were, they were
2021?
no, sorry, they were being a direct comparison to they were being a direct comparison to Jay and Silent Bob, who sold drugs, which is illegal, but they're NFT. They sell NFTs. So, like I said, it's a very strange like meta thing. I don't know what they're fucking going for. Because NFTs save the day, but like, what are you trying to say? I don't know. It's
So fucking
it's
stupid.
such a bizarre movie. Because there are parts that I like, but most of the movie is terrible. Like I can't like I
I
can't.
think this movie actively gave me a headache. I think this movie killed Slur.
Mhm.
A little
Yeah,
bit on
like
the inside.
this was a hard pill to swallow.
It's been a while since we've done coverage of a movie this truly fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And not even like at least something like Malignant was like
Oh,
entertainingly
that was
bad.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. This didn't
Fuck.
even have that.
Fuck me, it's been that long. I was quickly like I was quickly looking how far it's been since do you know that it's been like more than a year ago since we fucking did the original Kevin Smith arc?
Oh wow.
No, I don't like that information. Retracted immediately.
Yeah.
No
It's kind
thank
of
you.
shit.
Do something. Do something with that.
Slur, I hate to tell you, time has passed.
You're getting old,
No,
man.
disgusting.
No, time
Degenerate.
is libtarded. Didn't we decide that?
That sounds like something
What does
I've
that even
probably said at some
mean?
point.
Oh god, like literally as Randall is dying on the operating table, he apparently was just talking about the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, he was also on fentanyl, so we can't really be held accountable for what he's saying.
Yeah,
But the
he
fact that
was
they made
on drugs.
it was a very of the time it came out pop culture reference rather than like a classic
rather
pop
than a
culture
timeless
reference.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So when in Clerks 1 they're talking about Star Wars had already been out for like a couple of decades. It was an established piece of pop culture that like the joke was that they're weird nerds who are still fucking talking about this, and these are the kinds of guys you can actually
And
expect to actually
demonetized.
exist out there. Whereas what?
Daddy, I don't want to be anemic anymore.
No, sorry. Just talking about the screen. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, when you make a pop culture reference that's like literally only relevant when it came out and will only ever be relevant when it comes out, and you date your movie that hard, that's just it's bad. It's why making meme jokes in movies is just so ill-advised. Don't ever do it.
Yeah.
Because you'll date your movie and the meme won't age well.
Yeah, Black Panther, what are those?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like that meme was relevant when that script was written.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna do the meme thing, like at least make it a parody. Don't make a joke like at it. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob are there. Jay is great. I feel like he's one of the only good characters in the movie.
But again,
With
they
this
lost all their character development.
With
Yeah.
with insanely polished teeth, I might add.
Yeah, of course. Gotta get those toilet teeth in there, man. So the Kevin Smith is Frieza trying.
What would we even give this?
Oh, it's definitely the lowest of all of the Kevin Smith movies. Like I feel like I could say that for all of us easily.
Would
Any
this
disagreements?
Oh yeah, this is well below Jersey Girl. This is well below anything else he's ever done.
would this actually be like our first one?
This is barely even a fucking cohesive story.
Mm-hmm.
A 0.5? This is this our worst film by Y.A.R.P standards?
We are down at about like a 1 or a 2, depending on how forgiving we want to be based on like the couple of moments where it's shown
But
just
the
a little
problem
bit.
is,
No.
like, but the problem is, I'm usually the optimistic one saying, well, the movie's moments are good, but it's like, but dude, it's just so crushed by
It
everything.
is relentlessly shit.
Yeah,
Like it's so bad, and like it does the Marvel humor thing where like that whole theater scene is fucking awesome, like straight up, and then it's immediately cut with fucking Tismo. Oh, don't they inferno, don't they paradiso, and it's like, God fucking damn it, like, you know what I mean? Like there was something there.
yeah, they couldn't just
and
let
then,
it sit.
like, and then it just got fucked over. Like,
What
and I
if
feel
they
like
had
that's
just?
true about
What
like
if
the entire fucking thing.
if they had just fucking cut, like at the hospital, like that pan shot and then just black Clerks 3? I think actually that wouldn't have been the worst ending.
Oh, you're talking about like they just leave the theater and that's the end of the movie?
No, the like the 2 seconds after that, where it's the heart monitor beeps, Randall's calling for help, and it pans back from the hallway in the hospital. If they
Nah,
just
I feel like they're just leaving it like right at the theater because that's
yeah,
pretty much clear enough.
that's not bad either.
hmm But yeah, like the movie should have ended there. Like, and we literally get a recreation. Am I tripping, or did Clerks 1 end the same way?
What do you mean?
Did Clerks 1 end with like the camera panning backwards and them chilling in the fucking thing or whatever? Or am I tripping? Or am I just getting it confused with Clerks 2?
I think you're getting confused with
Yeah.
Clerks too.
Yeah. But yeah, they recreate the shot from Clerks 2 at the very end of the movie.
It's just disturbing how, you know, you had something good. You had something that people genuinely loved and built a cult following around. And it just felt like this was shitting all over.
Mm-hmm.
Because it made every one of those lines that they basically just reused just felt like a stab. And it was the View Askew universe dying a death by a thousand cuts. It's like all of these moments that we used to look back on and, you know, kind of smile or like, yeah, that was a cool moment. It's like now it's like, ugh, literally cringing. This is like actively doing damage to the original material.
Yeah, I see it, Max. I know you're trying to show.
Yeah, bad man.
Uh, no, like what? Yeah, what it was missing by that point would have been when Dante's in the movie theater. If Alanis Morissette's "God" was in the background by that point, like this was just, we watched
No.
the death of it.
Yeah, like that would have been like the pretentious thing to just like reference Dogma right at there at the end.
The, he referenced Dogma as I think it was like a post credit scene in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot where it's like Loki was in a church, like I guess I was born again.
Yeah, like I said, it's I don't know. I'm left with like a really weird feeling in my gut, and it's just sadness. Like there's nothing like good about what we watch. Like there's no like good
Has
feelings
this
about what we watched.
would you guys say that like has this like I think it has for me, has this pretty much like are you gonna ever rewatch like the original Clerks or Jay and Silent Bob
Yeah,
Strike Back?
I feel like they're
I
still
mean,
fine.
Clerks 1 and 2 are both still good movies in their own. I just, you know how there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, and only
only
6
There's
Star
only
Wars
2
movies.
Clerks movies.
and
Yeah,
there's
there's
only
only 2 Clerks movies.
and there's only
Just-
2 Devil May Cry games in Dante's trilogy. Yeah,
And there's only
That's
one
just how-
Matrix movie.
no, I like the other 2.
Huh.
Still,
There's
you like
there's
them.
one
They're still
Matrix
bad.
movie and a couple of scenes that exist on
There's a
YouTube
couple of
that are
scenes-
played a lot.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you know
it's
what?
literally
You know
just-
what? I'll take that. I'll take that.
Max and Slur just shaking hands.
Yeah, I have spent the last few weeks watching some very like shitty movies, some old, some fairly recent, just trying to pass the fucking time. And even with some of the worst ones out of that bunch, I was at least entertained. I at least had a decent time. This felt painful. This was like watching somebody beat the shit out of your loved one, and you can't do anything to help. You
Worse.
just have to watch.
Worse, it's like the watching your loved one beat themselves up.
Do
And
we
then, like,
do we want to
Laugh happily about it.
do we want to date this episode immediately and say what we've been like what we
Nah,
were
it's alright.
watching in between?
I was watching One Piece.
Not watching in between, but what this is in between of.
No, don't worry about
I
it.
love how that doesn't date at all because you're gonna be watching that shit for a fucking while.
Yeah, for yeah, if it was One Piece, but
This is actually 2010. What?
yeah, this is actually no, this has actually been like 5 years before we even met
Yeah,
each
it's
other.
a full like 10 years before we even knew what this was.
Yeah, see, like I'm playing Dragon Ball.
2010, you'd have like known me like right as I was finishing secondary school. I was a very different dude back then.
I'm playing
He was
Dragon
a
Ball.
young spud.
I was gonna say Max
Yeah,
wouldn't have changed in the
A new
slightest.
potato.
No, yeah.
We would time travel back then. Max, what are you doing? I'm playing Dragon Ball.
I cannot believe why I suggested this movie. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, we blame you.
This is gonna be another movie where I have to take. I
This
have to
might
take the
be
blame.
worse than fucking Pandora, dude.
No!
Ooh.
At least
Shut up.
Pandorum had a
No.
fucking story.
No.
No! Fucking Pandorum didn't make me feel anything besides killing myself. At least here, I'm depressed, but I also want to kill myself. There's two different things here.
At least Pandora had some laughable moments
You
of
got
Dennis
enough brain.
Quaid going,
No, I
"Life
don't-
eats life."
I don't know, but I don't ever want to fucking think about Pandorum. For some reason, that popped up in my fucking YouTube notifications. It's like, hey, why Pandorum is a secret fucking gem? And I literally was like, fuck you. I was like, so fuck
Wait,
yourself.
you got recommended a video as to why Pandorum's a hidden gem.
I think that's what it's called. I just remember seeing it.
Listen, it's the spiritual
I just-
successor to
I
Event
just-
Horizon.
Oh
don't you
my,
know?
oh
I just
my
remember
fucking
seeing it.
god, that is some deep lore.
And here's the thing. I remember
Uh.
seeing the video clip, and I didn't, not the clip, the thumbnail, and I just immediately, like, I wasn't mad at the video guy. I was mad at Wyatt. Because, like, I know what this is.
And it's why it's fucking.
You know, I
Fucking
just
Wyatt's fault.
no, I'll just be
This is
randomly
your
working.
fault.
No, I'll
You
just be
make it
working.
It's like we're having that whole
I'll just-
episode all over again.
I just randomly will be working, and then I'm just like, you know what? Then I'll just lash myself on the back for Pandora. I'm sorry.
No, it's a reference. See, it's a callback. Do you remember? I remember them when Y.A.R.P talked about Pandorum, and I clapped.
Yeah, it's terrible.
See, look, this
Oh,
whole
Yeah, let's all talk
I-
about Pandorum again now that we're 50 plus years old.
Oh my Jesus.
I'm gonna make a
The
movie
real
about
Pandorum was the friends we made along the.
You know, Dennis Quaid only did that movie because he was sick of being the good guy, and the movie he did immediately afterwards was G.I. Joe.
We were all underwater the whole time,
Oh my god.
trying to see the Titanic.
Oh, God.
No,
No.
Yeah, because we wanted to find the aliens.
You want to talk about fucking dating? This
no. We literally just talked about like how memes date something. Fuck.
Hey,
It can't be
that's
any
not a
worse
meme,
than the
motherfucker.
cringe
That
we
is
just
the
witnessed.
truth.
Yeah, no.
You
What
have
we
to
saw,
open your mind. They're out there, man. We're being
There is no
visible.
spoon.
No, they're not out there. They're down there.
They're down there. That's the thing. Like this movie was kind of like a sub, like imploding under the pressure. It was just horrible.
Yeah, the whole
Oh my
universe
God.
imploded.
Yeah.
You know
Subway.
the controller survived?
E-fresh. I don't believe that. That's a lie.
Yeah,
a
no,
lie.
that shit was a fake image. I don't know. No fucking
Yeah,
shot.
yeah, and fucking and Elon Musk and
Ellen DeGeneres.
Elon Musk.
No,
hold on.
I'm gonna let my brain rot go. Ellen
No.
DeGeneres and
And-
Pat Brannigan, we're gonna fucking fight in a cage match. yeah.
Also, I'm just
That's
watching
where
you.
my mind- that's where my mind was gonna go. So-
I just keep thinking of Ellen DeGeneres fusing with,
I love
like doing the
how
fucking fusion dance.
with
you
Max
got
just
the-
flying around, if you touch the ground, it's apparently he's just grinding his face into the fucking ground.
fucking just.
And Piccolo and Vegeta
All right,
do it,
guys, we do not endorse this shit. Please, if you have any love
don't
for
play
this
Kakarot.
universe,
Please, for the love
Do
of God,
not
don't get into
fucking
experimental
watch
studies,
this.
Okay.
yeah, just don't do it.
It's
Don't
bad.
watch this.
Would you
Don't be
rather
rich.
watch this
Stay out
or
of the
Men
ocean.
Again?
Huh?
Would you rather watch this or Men Again?
No, pull the trigger. I don't want to watch
This is
either.
man again.
Oh my God, Slur wasn't a part of that, was
No,
You weren't! I forgot about that!
Shut up! Shut up! Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. I love you guys. Y'all be safe.
I'm the one in control
I
of the
feel like I'm
record
missing
button.
something.
Just show Slur that one fucking scene out of context.
No! Don't show him any of it.
You don't have to watch, you coward.
It's like Pandorum. Just
So-
like don't let him know.
So I
what it
figured
is.
out our palate cleanser. Good night,
No.
everybody.